Hey guys, this is Anthony Romrell, and in this video, we are going to take our model here and we're going to break it up and turn it into references. Okay, so first thing is we have a chair, and this chair is just like the other chair. So we are going to take this chair, we're going to hold the X key, we're going to put it in right in the middle, and we're going to freeze its transformations. So we're going to say modify freeze transformations. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to export it. So we're going to say File, and we're going to say Export Selection. And, I'm going to set my project. I've already done this, but it just gets annoying. I've been between projects, so let's just make sure that I'm in my Essentials folder, my 1100, 1200 folder, and then my Maya folder. Great. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and say export selection. Perfect. So it says FBX, but I'm going to do it as a Maya ASCII, and I'm just going to call this chair. Okay. And so now I have a chair model, and then I'm going to delete the chair. I'm also going to delete this chair because we don't need to. Now I'm going to take the table. I'm going to put it in the center at 0, and I'm going to modify freeze transformations and export. So export selection, and as my ASCII, I'm going to call this table. Okay, and I'm going to delete that. Great. Then I'm going to take this bookshelf, and I'll make the books a separate model. So I'm going to take this bookshelf, and I'm going to say, let's put this right here. So I'm going to hold the X key, put that in the middle, freeze its transformation. So modify freeze transformations, and export selection, bookshelf. Okay, my ASCII. And delete it. Okay, so in the previous video, I already exported the cups. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to keep the floor and the walls. The books, we're going to grab those. So object mode, and select all the books, deselect the wall, and I'm going to group them first. So Command G or Control G on the PC, and then modify, and we're going to center pivot. Okay, I'm going to hit the F key to zoom in. Okay, going to hit the W key, and we're going to modify. So this is a group. So we're going to go to the outliner, and we got group 1 here. So we're going to call this one book GRP for book group. And we're going to modify its pivot point. Move that outliner out of the way. We're going to hold D. We're going to hit W, and then hold down D and hit V, and then snap this down to the bottom. Oh, DV. Snap this down to the bottom of the books right there. Okay, great. Then I'm going to hit A to frame all, and hit X and snap that to the grid right there. Okay, that looks like it's in the center. Okay, we're going to take this group node, we're going to freeze its transformation. So modify freeze transformations, and we're going to export this model. So File, Export Selection, and we're going to call this books. Again, my ASCII. Export, delete that. Excellent. All right, so that's all done. We're going to now save this model. And now what we're going to have is multiple models. We're going to create references for them. So we're going to say, create a reference. And let's say here, oh, the wrong area. Didn't keep my project setting, so I'll just do that again. So set project, get repositories, essentials, Maya, open. Great. Okay, so create reference. Where did that go? Create reference. Command or Control R. And let's start with the table. Right, there's the table. It's now a referenced model. So what it means is we're going to have to edit these models separately in separate files, which is okay. It's actually a little bit better. So like because we have one table, then once we modify it, we can have multiple tables. Okay, and let's Control R again, or Command R on the PC, and let's do a chair. Great. Now the chair is referenced. Okay, again, I'm going to hold the X key, snap that chair in. And I'm not going to duplicate it. I'm going to create another reference. So create another reference here, and the chair again. Now we have two chairs, but the chairs, these are the exact same model referenced. And to kind of put that in perspective, I'm going to hold the J key there and hold the W and then X to push this in. Great. To put this into perspective, now rather than modifying two chairs, we're going to modify one. And I'll show you that in another video. Okay, now we're going to bring back in the bookshelf and the books. And from now on, we're going to create all separate models. Okay, so we're going to create a reference, and let's grab that bookshelf. Excellent. There's the bookshelf. Hold the X key to snap it where we want it. And we're not going to freeze our transformations this time. This time we want the models to have a number as to where they are. Okay, hit the A key to frame it all. See, if you hit the F key, it frames the item or the selection. If you select none, hit F, frames all. Or hit the A key while something's selected, you frame all. One last reference, reference editor. You can see all the references there. So we could add it this way, but so we're say file, create reference there. Doesn't matter. And books. Where'd those books go? Boy, I must have put them in a different location. So I better find them and move them, right? Because they're not in my repository. So here's what we're going to do. I think it's probably in my default location. Right, sometimes this happens, so I'm just going to show it to you anyway. So I've got a My File, Projects, Default, Scenes, Books. Yep, see, they're in the wrong spot. So that's okay. If that happens to you, we're just going to put it in the right spot so it goes to our repository. So I'm just going to open a new Finder window. You could also do this on the PC. My Git repos, Essentials, and let's just find that My folder, Scenes. Let's date by modified scenes. Okay, now we'll put the book model in the right spot. See, I work on several projects at a time, so sometimes I have to reset my projects. And books should be there. There they are. And they're all MA files, which is what we want. Okay, and the books have appeared. They're in here, but they're probably hidden. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I selected a book, and you know what? It's just selecting one. I want to select them all. So I'm going to hit the up arrow key. That'll select them all. Then I'm going to hold that V key and snap them up to the top of that shelf. Hit F to frame and just nudge them back into position. Okay, and you can say, well, why did we go to all that extra work? Let's hold that V key and snap it. Why did we go to all that extra work to make separate models? Well, that is a great question, and the answer is a couple reasons. But for one, it's efficiency, right? Rather than building up and working in one space and getting it all cramped, it gets difficult to work if you haven't noticed. And so now what we can do is we can work separately. So I'm going to modify this chair for just a minute. So I'm going to say File, Open Scene. And we're going to find that chair right here. Okay, and I can just work on this chair independently. So let's do that for just a minute. Let's just, I'm going to go to vertex mode, and I'm going to do a little bit of interesting things. So hit the W key, push that back just a little bit. Okay. And, maybe add some curvature to it. So let's do some insert edge loops, right? So let's go to the front profile, hit F, and I'm going to go to, see, I'm in rendering, so modeling. Let's go to Mesh Tools. Let's drag that tab on the front. Pull this down here. And insert edge loop. And I'm going to insert an edge loop. Let's say here, and here, and here, and here along that edge. Awesome. Okay, and let's go to that 3/4 view. You can see how I've inserted those edge loops there. Right, and let's go to vertex mode, right click vertex mode, and I'm gonna hit the R key and kind of just scale these so they're the same. Oh, I'm soft selected, so that's the B key. If you ever find yourself soft selected, that's by holding the B key. Okay, so I'm just gonna scale these down so they're the same, and then you know what, just gonna move them forward. So W, just add a little bit of curvature to that. It's a little wonky now, right? You're like, that's not better. Maybe it's not. Okay, grab these verts here and these top verts here and just, there we go. A little bit of a curve on that chair. Great. So I'm going to save this model. Let's open that Model 1 room back up again. So open scene. Command O or Control O. Okay, and that Model 1's right here. And look at that. Both chairs are updated at the same time. See? That's because it's just one model we're working on and it's being referenced. So that is a more efficient way to work. Now, one more thing. If we hit Control A, we have a floor here. Let's hit Control A again so we get the channel box, and you can see we have our floor. Let's take that out of template mode, and then you can see that there is a floor there. I'm still going to lock it with the R key. I'm going to lock the walls too. Right? Remember one time we made those walls. So those are locked. Let's see this one here. Let's right-click and add this to the wall layer. So I'm going to say Add Selected Objects. Then these walls are locked, right? Well, they should be locked. Yeah. These walls are locked, floor is locked, but I can select the other models. Okay, and that's one further step to cleaning this up with references.